This episode is brought to you by Resy and American Express. Resy is a digital platform that connects restaurants to restaurant lovers by elevating dining experiences, providing original industry content, and helping to fill some of the country's most exciting dining rooms. Because restaurants have always been more than just places to eat. The amazing world of restaurants is just a few taps away in the Resy app and at resy.com.
Hey, the vibes are slipping. I think it's time to bring out the Velveeta shells and cheese. The holidays are a time to go all in on indulgence. Headline your meals with the rich, creamy meltiness of Velveeta shells and cheese and satisfy your holiday cravings like no other. Bring that main course energy to your side dish. Celebrate extra with Velveeta these holidays.
I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm just the top of funnel. You just have to think
totally.
about that. It's like, and you have to be comfortable with that. And some people aren't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I care way more about Sourmilk winning than I do about my cringe.
This is Taste. I'm your host, Matt Rothbard. Kiki Couchman is the co-founder of Sourmilk, a well-positioned yogurt company with more hustle than the average startup. I found Sourmilk on social media and was impressed even before I tried the creamy and probiotic-rich yogurt. It's great stuff, as is Kiki's story about how she quit her finance job to start a yogurt company with her best friend, a refrain often repeated in the company's savvy social media marketing. What's it like bootstrapping in the highly competitive, perishable CPG world? This conversation is absolutely illuminating. I hope you enjoy it. Kiki Couchman, welcome to This is Taste. It's really great to meet you.
It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I've been following Sourmilk's account for a while. I had a great conversation with Dan Fromer. And really popular episode, actually. Lots of downloads there. Thanks for listening. And I wanted to bring up your brand because you're doing really cool things. And I joked that you're like extra online and maybe too much for my taste. But really, in meeting you, that was like truly a joke. I respect what you're doing so much.
Thank you.
Just to be clear.
It is a grind.
Yeah. I wanted to have you in. We've had lots of founders on the show. I think going back, we've had like Hungry Root, Graza, Banzas. We've had Monty's. I'm forgetting a few. But so we've had a lot of like founders at different phases of the journey. You're like in the early innings for Sourmilk, but it's a category yogurt that is so interesting to me. So I want this conversation. We want to talk about your story, you and your founder, your co-founder, but also just like breaking into CPG, what it's been like. So
I'm super excited.
I know we have a lot to cover, but I have to ask at the top of the show, where have you been dining out?
Great question. Really not much recently because of all the yogurt
business,
hustle, I will say. But actually, right before this, I had lunch at Fonty's.
Yeah, cool.
Have you been there yet?
No, I haven't been there.
Okay, it's like a small bodega with Indian flavors, sort of South Asian flavors in the West Village. And we had a tuna melt with the best like Indian chilies in it. It was so good.
What a cool combo.
I know.
Into it.
And then there's something called the Nanini Panini. And it's naan, and then they make it into a panini. And we had sort of a beef with like a yogurt chutney sort of thing. It was delicious.
Ooh.
So they just opened and I would highly recommend.
Oh, I know. It's like pretty new to me. I know the name but haven't been. Sourmilk Collab coming up?
I think so. Every place I go now, I say, oh, I think you need our yogurt in your store.
I mean, there's infinite possibilities in cooking, obviously, with yogurt. We consume that as people with a refrigerator because we have them in there as like a breakfast or a snack, but there's so many possibilities. I want to just start with the history of Sourmilk and like for our listeners who don't know, tell us a little bit about who you are, what are you selling, and a little bit about where you think you're going right now because I know you've made some changes and pivots and all that business
Yeah, totally. Well, the headline on what sour milk is, because I think a lot of people, they see it as a yogurt, they might like wince at the name at first. And I think that's all the point, right? Is we want to be a yogurt that reminds you that this is a fermented, alive product. And really what we're doing differently is we're taking all the probiotics you would find in a pill or a powder supplement and culturing it in your yogurt. So not only is it grass-fed organic milk, 15 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, but also, we're finding probiotics that actually can heal your gut, not just the ones that make good tasting yogurt. So that's really what sour milk is. And the way that we were birthed, for lack of a better word, is Alon, who is my best friend and co-founder, as you mentioned. We met at Stanford in undergrad. I studied human biology. She studied computer science. So maybe mine is slightly more relevant to what I'm doing now. But she was a D1 athlete and has always cared a lot about health. She actually was dealing with a lot of health challenges and realized it was all stemming from the microbiome. And, her hormones were wacky. She was getting a lot of midday slumps, a lot of bloating. And, the microbiome is responsible for all of those things. We can talk about like it's chronic inflammation, cancers, Alzheimer's, all those things. But ultimately, it was just impacting her day-to-day life. And so she thought, great, let me just eat more probiotics. Let me eat more yogurt. Turns out that yogurt that you're eating every single day doesn't actually have the probiotics to heal your gut. So she started making this in our kitchen together. We lived together in San Francisco. Yeah. And at first I was like, this is this like weird COVID thing that she's doing, like everyone had their weird hobby. Yeah. And she was making it in the kitchen, but it actually really healed her. And it, I started eating it. Her girlfriend started eating it. Like everyone around us started eating it. Yeah. But never thought to commercialize it. So it was just sort of a thing that we were doing.
Yeah, and you were probably using great milk, right?
Totally,
that was
right?
the whole point of it, right?
Exactly.
Using great milk from San Francisco Farmers Market or wherever it may be.
Exactly. Like we had access to such good things there.
Yeah.
And then we were also using, the targeted probiotics as well. And so it was sort of, we knew exactly what was in what we were eating. Yeah. Right?
I love the starting in the home kitchen. I remember I had the founder of Olipop here, and he told a very similar story. Yeah. And it reminds me of that. Like he was using a soda stream in his kitchen, possibly in the Bay Area. I can't remember. But this is how it starts. It starts in the home kitchen. Why food is so interesting to us, food founders that is, because a lot of them are just home cooks who have a big idea. Now, at Stanford, you studied human biology, but you ended up working in private equity. How the hell does that happen?
It's a great question. I was really lucky that my firm hires out of undergrad. Most private equity firms, you have to go to investment banking for 2 years before moving into private equity. And the most important thing in my first job, I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. I just thought human biology was very interesting. Yeah. But I knew I wanted to follow a really good mentor and a really good manager. And I knew then from whatever it was I was doing, I would learn a lot, I would be invested in, and then I could springboard to the next thing. And so I interviewed with this private equity firm. I had heard great things, but I was like, no way am I going to be in finance. That's not my calling in any way. But I met my previous my manager and mentor, and she was awesome. And I was like, I will just follow you wherever.
Cool instinct. I think it's very smart. I think that, and they're smart to hire you, obviously. I have to ask you about PE because there's a little bit of a tangent from yogurt. We will get back to
That's
it, but I know you'll be honest. Like PE kind of fucked up food.
Totally.
And Emily Sundberg's written about this. I have a lot of friends who've covered PE, and like all these companies, they get investment from PE. And it really doesn't, it goes sideways. And I don't want to dwell on this too much, but I think I want to take the opportunity to ask you your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I think it's a really hard industry to invest in. Consumer and CPG. Yeah. And here I am going into it after seeing the other side of things.
We'll talk about your financing at the end, what your goals are.
Yes, but I think that it's like, it's hard to be an investor and be super, super, bullish on that space when like you can still have incredible outcomes. But for the most part, it's a really, really difficult business that's really capital intensive often. And so I don't blame either side. I'll be honest. Okay. I think it's just a difficult space.
Diplomatic, fair. Maybe not the full answer.
I will say that we didn't invest in consumer, my previous fund, and we had one, consumer wing, I would say, where we made one investment, and it was not going the way that we wanted. Yeah. And so we said, nope, not again.
I mean, it just comes down to the unit economics and the margins, and it doesn't make sense when you're talking about food and trying to scale and get to that number.
And we just talked about this. It's like the quality versus scale. There's sometimes, hopefully never a trade-off, but often there is sometimes,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
maybe we'll talk later. I think I might have a more focused conversation about PE with you later. But
okay, great.
But let's go back to yogurt. So, okay, human science, you work at a PE firm. Not long, though, and you and your partner decide that you want to get into CPG. What caused you to leave the firm and then get into yogurt?
I would reframe that and say it wasn't that I need to get into CPG. It was I want to explore health. I want to get back to this area and I want to make a really big impact in health. And what's the way to do that? I could make another green powder, another like fermented spoonful of this thing or another, pill or something like that. But ultimately, yogurt has a 92% household penetration. If I want to make the biggest impact, let's put the thing that can heal you in the thing you eat already. Let's meet American consumers where they are. And so actually yogurt provided this incredible opportunity to actually create a lasting impact on health for the American consumer. And so it was, I love yogurt and Alon had already been making this thing and I love food, but really it's about impacting your health. And by the way, it has to taste amazing or else no one's going to eat it, of course. And I care deeply about that.
Yeah.
But that was really like where it came to and why.
And it's putting the right enzymes, bacteria into the yogurt or at least maintaining it.
Yes.
And not removing it.
Yes. So it's not removing it. But then also like most yogurt companies, even great yogurt companies, they want to reduce their COGS, right? So they're going to use the right bacteria that makes good tasting yogurt. Why go and source this bacteria, right? Like, why go and source and pay extra for this bacteria?
3x cost, perhaps.
Right, exactly. Not quite 3, but still, right? And so I think that is also part of it is like we're actually designing this yogurt to be good for your gut rather than designing it to taste good.
Well, I'll say you brought in a sample. I had not tried it yet, and I love it. It's 5%, which is really nice. I thought right away you sold me on the color. It has a little bit of a yellow hue to it. Texture-wise, it really aligns with some of the premium yogurts you're going to find. And the farmers markets yogurts. And the yogurts you'll find that, there's really a strong identity. It's not the faceless yogurt you eat in the morning sometimes just to get the protein. So I think there's a real culinary edge you have. This episode is brought to you by Our Place. Are you still using that set of pots and pans bought on sale at Bed Bath & Beyond during the first Obama administration? It might be time for an upgrade. I recently went on a search for the perfect sauté pan and landed on the Our Place website. I liked how their cookware looked, minimal and functional, with a color palette that matched my own aesthetic. And I really liked that they make better kitchen products that are simply better for you. Our Place makes high-performance, toxin-free cookware. It's that simple. Their products are made without forever chemicals like PFAS and PTFEs. I had to Google that, and man, that stuff is nasty. So you can cook confidently without wondering what's in your pan. Stop cooking with toxic cookware and upgrade to Our Place today. Visit FromOurPlace.com/taste and use code TASTE for 10% off site-wide. With a 100-day risk-free trial, free shipping and returns, you can experience this game-changing cookware with zero risk. That's FromOurPlace.com/taste and use code TASTE for 10% off site-wide. This episode is brought to you by Tempo. Now, we are all really busy this time of year, and cooking sometimes is not an option, though we crave a healthy, creative, home-cooked meal that an Uber Eats delivery or slice of pizza isn't going to satisfy. Tempo is a smart solution. Creative and always interesting, arriving at your door, perfectly portioned for lunch and dinner and ready to eat in 2 minutes. Now, I recently gave Tempo a try and I was super impressed. It's great. The pork chop and green beans with roasted garlic potatoes was exactly what I wanted after a busy day. And the grilled chicken with apricot barbecue sauce, man, that sauce was tangy and it gave me all the lean protein I was wanting after a crazy day of podcast recording. With 20 meals available for delivery each week, mealtime is never boring. And for those macro counters out there, Tempo is a smart option. For a limited time, Tempo is offering This Is Taste listeners something pretty amazing. 60% off your first box. That's 60%, which is pretty close to free. Visit tempocooking.com/taste for 60% off your first box. tempocooking.com/taste. Rules and restrictions may apply. We talk about health a lot on the show. Protein maxing is all the rage. We're on the NA beer train, of course. And probiotic sodas, some call those millennial Metamucil. But I want to talk about skin health for a second. Everybody should be thinking about skin health. It's important, and I look to OneSkin, the world's first skin longevity company, for a little help. Now, I've used OneSkin's OS1 hydrating sunscreen for walking around New York City in the blazing sun.
Producer Clayton chiming in. Matt and I used OneSkin during the recent bakery half marathon we participated in. It was a lot of running, a lot of pastries, and a whole lot of sun. Our stomachs might have taken a hit, but our skin was protected with OneSkin.
By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. For a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off using promo code TASTEPOD at oneskin.co. That's 15% off using code TASTEPOD. Thinking about this category, Kiki, I mean, it's wildly competitive right now. You have to separate somehow. Clearly, its health is the big the moat, so to speak, that you have. How do you think about scaling this up?
Yeah. So it is health, but I also think that if you look at the yogurt aisle, for the most part, it's like big commodity brands and then farms.
Yes.
And people, often we ask people what they buy, and either they say the white one, the one on sale, the purple one, or Phage. And you're like, that's not even how you say it, I think. No shade to anybody who says Phage.
Yeah.
But I think that just goes to show you they're buying not based on any brand loyalty. It truly is a commodity. And so the way we think about this is what's the young, fun yogurt brand that people can actually be a loyalist to? Yes, there's reason for it, right? Like our moat is the health thing, but we need you to pick us up on the shelf. Yeah. We need you to see Sourmilk in our bright blue and say, whoa, what's that? That's cool. That's interesting. Let me turn it around. Oh, it's your daily probiotic supplement. Let me follow the journey. Oh my gosh, there's this whole brand world that we get to experience that someone like Phage does not have, maybe.
I guess we're going to mispronounce it the whole way. It's really well said. I'm super intrigued by the way you're going to activate the health part, because I think that's you have a short period in that yogurt aisle to get someone to actually think about and flip the label. I mean, it's a packaging move, right?
It is. I mean, it's difficult, right? It is, like you said, it's just super competitive, and we have no D2C play.
Yeah.
Or a refrigerated product, right? It is truly just stopping you in the aisle. It's a huge thing with our name. So we had to go through a name change.
Want to hear about that?
Yeah. We had a cease and desist.
Yeah.
And so we went through a name change. It was not our first choice, but now I look back and I'm like, thank goodness.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's 10 times better than the previous name.
10 times better.
Yeah, 10 times better.
And we thought about it, I think there's a lot of people we've talked to a lot of founders who've had to change their name, and you always search for something that's sort of similar to the previous name. But we thought, okay, let's scrap it entirely. And now that we know our category better, now that we know our brand better, because by the way, we'd been building in public for 6 months at this point.
Yeah, I know.
Which, at first felt like a nightmare to change our name, but then we realized, okay, this can actually be a really galvanizing effort for our community. It was really about the biggest thing was how do we make somebody stop? Because that's the only thing that I have on Chobani. Literally the only thing is you need to stop. And Sourmilk gets so many reactions, and the reaction is what makes it memorable, right? Like any emotion is what makes you remember something. And so, some people react poorly. Some people think it's the best thing ever. It's just something you've never heard before.
It's amazing that people respond poorly. I never actually thought a negative thought about the name.
That's fantastic.
Because I know yogurt, and most people understand.
that it's soured milk.
Yeah, right. It's like truly saying what it is in a kind of fun way.
Totally.
I mean, I guess some people only eat like raspberry yogurts.
Yes. And there's an we didn't call it spoiled milk, right? We called it sour milk.
Yeah.
But I think there are some people who associate it, who can make that initial association. That's fine by me, because they're still in a grocery store and they see this product. They trust the grocery store enough to be there.
Yeah.
So then they think, okay, that's interesting and that's weird why that's there. Let me look at that for a second.
You get the letter, what's the feeling? And how do you think about the timeline to change it? Because you're building in public and you need to change soon.
The feeling is, oh my goodness, what are we? It's felt like the floor was falling out, honestly.
Yeah.
And now I think back, I'm like, it's such a small deal as compared to what we're going to face. But even still, it felt like a really big deal. It was, Alana and I looked at each other and we said, okay, I think we need to change as quick as possible because like the clock is ticking. We're building brand equity every single day that passes. Let's give ourselves a 2-week timeline and let's market the hell out of this. Let's create this into a huge thing. So like I came online, made a video, say, hey, we have to change our name. This is what's going on. Explain it as succinctly as I can without, speaking poorly about anything. And we've got 14 days to change a name. Help us now. And it was like an outpour of so many different ideas and so many different names. And that was just really fun. Those 2 weeks were the most insane 2 weeks of my life because I couldn't walk around the streets of New York without analyzing every single name that I saw.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking about why did Casper become Casper?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
How did they get Penguin Random House, right?
Yeah,
That's an insane. Yeah.
No, it's true. And the 2-week window was real. I mean, because you really were building the brand. And when you decide on Sourmilk, was that an internal name or did you get it from outside?
It was an internal name, actually.
Yeah.
We were just thinking about a lot of different things, and we liked the word milk.
Yeah.
There's something that's like, we get asked all the time, is this dairy or not?
That's
and
great.
we're squarely dairy.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll ever, likely never expand
likely.
beyond. Yeah, likely.
I'll
just say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But milk also has like this sexiness to it, right? Like that I think can be used as a play. And then there's an irreverence to sour, right? And there's also the clear description of what it is. And so that just was like, we were playing on milk and continued on that.
It's great. And it makes sense about how you operate your social channels, given that like you really had to turn it up at that moment. Yeah. And you kind of haven't stopped.
Totally. That was like a turning point for us. Yeah.
You just you can't be quiet anymore. I love it. And let's segue and talk a little bit about just having the yogurt in the market. And how are you thinking about seeding this with influencers, seeding it with food service? I think about a conversation I had with Miles at Zabs. He's thinking about food service and he's thinking like, let's go to the tip of the spear for influencers. Let's get it on the table at Superiority Burger. I think that was a great idea and it's a great product like yours. Now, you can also think about how do you like work with the media? I mean, there's like a lot of angles, but you have like limited resources because it's only 2 of you.
It's true. We do have limited resources.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, the biggest thing that we've thought about is how do we burn as hot and as bright in like the smallest radius possible for as long as possible.
Yeah.
So that way
that's physics right there.
That's
doing
exactly.
I'm
doing some physics. It's like we want people to be dying to try our yogurt and we need a virtual line out the door before we're ever in a grocery store. And so that's the other thing is like I can't send our product to influencers across the country. And by the way, it doesn't really help because if an influencer in Chicago is opening up my yogurt, no one can get it around them, right? There's like zero ROI on that.
Yeah.
And so we have to be very pointed about where we use that. And so that's why we've actually been doing this like drug deal model this past summer. It's truly. Is because we were making product. I mean, we make it a factory. We make it a co-man. Our minimum is, at least 3,000 yogurts. So our first R&D run, we had 3,000 yogurts. Yep. Oh my gosh, what do we do with this?
But with a 2-week shelf life.
8-week shelf life.
8 week. Okay, good correction there. Good.
Yes.
8-week shelf life, still limited.
2 months. Yeah. It's still limited, but we're not dealing with anything that's so much different than the industry standard, right? So we bring it down, and how we thought about growth was let's get this into the hands of customers as fast as possible, and let's use New York to our advantage. So how do we do that? We're going to city bike around New York, and we're going to get this to people on the street corners of the West Village, of Greenpoint, of Midtown, of the Upper West Side, of Carroll Gardens, wherever it might be. And that has been instrumental. We've been able to sell over 5,000 yogurts, and for right now, to us, like that is number one priority in terms of growth because each of those 5,000 people will tell at least 1 to 2 more people, and then they will tell 1 to 2 more people. And so that's sort of been our biggest thing is customer acquisition before we're in a grocery store.
Totally, because you're not selling online. You're selling through this drug dealer model.
This is like our version of a D2C launch.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like it's sort of that. So that way, we're going to be slowly rolling out into grocery stores this fall. Pretty pointed, one at a time, to be able to funnel these customers and get, great sales velocity and good data from each of these grocery stores before we actually do a much bigger launch.
I mean, I'm recalling a conversation I had with the founder of Ouroboros, and he was hand selling for a long time, one by one. Yeah. And that brand has gone crazy. I love that brand.
It's gone crazy. And I think there is also we talk about it a lot, what can we do we're doing this for utility. We're doing this because of the constraints of our business.
Yeah.
Like, we are refrigerated, so we can't live out on the street. It can't be shipped. It can't be any of those things. And, we have the shelf life, and then also we are, only here in New York and all these sorts of things. So there's specific constraints, but also how do we make this like a moment? And I think we could be at a farmer's market and selling it.
Yeah.
But that has way less buzz than me sitting outside of the Equinox in the West Village and having 20 people surrounding me and all talking about yogurt and my backpack. And now other people are walking by and what are these people doing on a street corner? That's so interesting. Oh, let me come and chat. And so I think there is like something about that too, where we're thinking about all the opportunities of like, what do we actually need to do? And then how do we make it like an interesting moment?
And then you layer on social video from those pop-ups and you reshare and you get people talking
And then it's sort of the effect of like, oh, we want to feel like we're everywhere, everything all at once in New York City.
Yeah, it's working. I think I found you through Andrea Hernandez at Snackshot, through a mention I followed, and then I followed the journey, and then we're talking. So I think it's clearly working. Let's talk a little bit about that retail move this fall and how you're approaching one-by-one retailers in New York. I'm really fascinating about who you're targeting and like which types of, are we talking about markets? Are we talking about getting into a big box at a time? Like what are we doing here?
Totally. Well, we are talking about like smaller grocery stores. So actually our first one is going to be Happier Grocery. I feel like I can say that confidently.
Great.
And, there is like, okay, we have the drug deal in Soho. Usually you'd come here. Instead, you're going to go to Happier Grocery, right? So there's that like immediate funnel there. The broader strategy with this grocery store is we're really opening literally one door at a time, which sounds so slow. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so slow. But for us, it's like we are competing with a daily product. We are competing with velocities in Whole Foods that are, daily. So we have to we're not in like a set that is like 6 a week, right? That's not what we're doing here. Like yogurt is always sold out in a grocery store, which means we need to have really high numbers in order to really be competitive in our category review. So that's what our plan is the fall is really let's, I wouldn't say it's like fudging it. I'd say it's like putting a lot of pointed effort towards one storefront.
And having sell-through
and
happen in
having
days.
sell-through, exactly. So then we can have really the data we want to feel confident to then expand a lot further and we're having, some conversations with these big box, but continuing. I
was wondering about like the idea of skipping steps in some ways, or maybe that's negative, but just getting down to Austin and talking to the Whole Foods people, talking to Erewhon, obviously.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, are you simultaneously doing all of this?
Yes, we're trying to like do it all at the same time, if that makes sense.
So with that, there's a complication, which is making the yogurt.
Totally.
Right. And I've followed you use an upstate co-packer and you're there, physically there doing test runs. I mean, is this product, it's got to be scalable, right?
It is. And our co-man is like, has the ability to scale. They work with other brands that are much bigger than ours. And we're, operating still at a small volume, but like, we just made 4,000 yogurts this past run. Like it's not nothing. So the product you tasted isn't a small batch situation.
Yeah, it's a 4,000 run.
Right. It's still like fairly big. And so they can scale with us. And we've been in the factory floor because we really want to know the process. And we developed the process. We didn't work with a food scientist. We did it all ourselves. Alon is our major product woman.
Yeah.
She's
read.
read.
Divide the kind of effort, yeah.
So she's read yogurt textbooks. She did Cornell Dairy course, went super deep, worked really closely with their probiotic supplier. And so that's why we're on the floor, is because we're actually managing the floor when it's happening.
Yeah.
Every run. This past run was the first time that we were not on the floor the entire time.
Okay.
But Matt, I kid you not, we are there till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we're really on it and we're extra hands.
How far away is it from New York City?
It's, it's like 30 minutes outside of Ithaca. So it's like 4.5 hours away.
So you're using New York State milk?
Yes, we are using New York State milk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But you're not married to that, which is smart.
Yes.
Because like you can obviously scale and use California dairy.
Definitely. And like the California dairy has really great resources as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, it's really smart because you're thinking big right away, obviously. And you can scale quickly.
Dairy forces you to, because you can't use a commercial kitchen because you have to have a dairy license. And so actually there's, very little in between. I'll
So
be
there's
honest.
very few yogurt
There's
startups.
very few yogurt. Yes, there are very few yogurt
I mean,
startups.
no, there really aren't any.
Yeah.
I mean, you get farmers markets and you get like buzzy brands,
Yes.
but then it's like the big boys.
Yes, it's the big boys.
It's cool. I mean, what about food service? Do you think about that angle as being possibly a larger piece of the pie than consumer?
Would love for that to be a big piece of the pie.
I imagine you would.
We actually have we are Jeans on Lafayette.
Yeah.
They are launching a brunch, and we are on their brunch menu. And so we're their yogurt partner. And, you'll see sour milk yogurt in their parfait. And that's a big play for us is how can we take the Impossible Meat playbook where,
not to the end, hopefully.
not to the end, but just at the beginning.
Right.
But for their food service play. Their playbook, right? You don't see just like a plant-based burger. You see Impossible Burger on the menu.
Yeah.
And so there is some, and I think it's then being choosy about the food service locations we want to be at because we want to make sure that it's in line with our brand. But it's definitely something that we're thinking about.
I mean, Jeans and Time Again. I mean, it's...
Oh, it's totally. How do we choose like the cool buzzy spots?
I mean,
of course.
It's not even the cool buzzy spots, but like cool buzzy spots for like Gen Z.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
It's not, I mean, because there's cool buzzy spots that aren't Gen Z.
Yes,
that
it's
aren't
true.
those places, but you're going very young.
We are going very young. And I think like there are people who are, a lot of young folks are willing, we're a slightly higher premium product, right? And as we said, we're grass-fed, organic, we're probiotic, all the things that you could be. And Gen Z, knows about these things. They know about gut health. They know how important it is. They care deeply about protein, and they're willing to spend on things, particularly food, that feels much more like an indulgence.
What's MSRP?
Currently, it's $5, but this is the most expensive it's ever going to be.
Yeah,
so
that's what I would imagine that you're going to go down and down and down. But still, for a premium yogurt and a nice product, but it's only plain too. We should have said that from the jump, right? You're not thinking about flavors at all.
Not really. Yes, we are. There will be flavors, but in this exact moment, am I thinking about it? No, and that's really because we are back to the burn really, really hot in a small area.
Yeah.
We want to be hyper-focused, and our target consumer really doesn't eat flavored yogurt. They don't want the added sugars. They want to put that on themselves.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we need to expand to reach a broader audience. Of course, we know that. But our main priority is how do we reach as many people within this target as possible.
Makes perfect sense for the early innings. I mean, later on when you're thinking about flavors, do you think about pivoting away from the standard flavors?
Yeah, that is something we think a lot about. So right now we serve our yogurt with Manuka honey when we do sampling. And, Manuka honey is, again, another premium product. But how do we make this health and wellness thing shine through beyond just the probiotics, but also maybe the other flavor pairings we do?
Exactly. Because, it feels like that would align with your mission here and also be a real differentiator between the vanillas and the raspberries.
Exactly. Or even a passion fruit. I'm like, that's not that different, right? What if we did a matcha?
Sign me up.
Right?
Man.
Or just more interesting things.
Yeah, it's cool. So you're thinking small buzzy restaurants for food service.
Yes.
Is there a grail place you'd want to see sour milk on?
I would love sour milk to be on every juice bar in New York City.
Okay.
That is also a big, big play because I think there's the health that is an automatic association, but then there's also sort of the fun scale and then the clear branding. When you go to a juice bar, you don't have a menu here, you have a menu on a billboard.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think would be an amazing play.
Is there a direct-to-consumer approach with subscriptions, potentially a Hungry Root model?
Yes, that is something we really want to do. So even right now, we're calling our drug deal consumers, we're calling those folks our starter crew.
Yeah.
So if, the play on starter is your sourdough starter, any of the live bacteria. And we would love for those people one day to convert to a subscription here in New York City. I think we'll probably just keep it here. Maybe there's a way to hub and spoke it into major cities down the line. But if I think about new flavor launches, if I think about how do we make this not just a subscription, but also the inside group. And so that's another thing is is there an exclusivity model that we can create and maintain within a certain...
Which is cool for yogurt because it's
Absolutely.
unprecedented. Making yogurt cool where there's exclusivity is, even with brands like White Mustache and brands that have had that cachet, they still kind of don't because it's yogurt.
And it's also that's not White Mustache's focus.
No.
At all, right? We also recognize that too. It's they're making a really delicious yogurt and they're staying small scale.
Yeah, no.
That's their goal.
Do you look at them as like a inspiration in some ways?
In some ways, and in some ways, like I think a different model. You know?
Yeah.
Like we look much more at like, you know, even Chobani, what Chobani did with Greek yogurt, like they put it onto the map for Americans. It was not a thing before them. And so that's a total inspiration, right? Is like they revolutionized the aisle. What's the round two, right? Like what's the second wave of making yogurt interesting and cool, not just putting it on the map? Sort of like how Graza came in to a commodity aisle, and now all of a sudden there's a bright green squeezy bottle instead of just this sea of like random olive oils.
Oh yeah,
I don't
we've
know
had
the
Andrew
name.
on twice, and I think we're due for one soon. And you know, they like you kind of just like launched out like a cannon. They had more funding.
They had an insane
They had funded like crazy.
Yeah.
They were, but they launched out like a cannon. I would say it's not a cannon, but it's certainly in terms of a product launch. It's at least in New York, it's really doing it. You're doing it. It's buzzing.
Yeah. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
It's been like the city, I think it's underrated how important New York has been to our growth as well.
Oh, I recognize it as essential. I mean, but yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, you could think about it being in a different city and having a...
And I'm from California, right? And I get that a lot is this could be in San Francisco, this could be in LA. Of course, totally. The market there, the customer is there, all those things. But the ability to have so much buzz and so much word of mouth and so many people just live outside their homes here in New York that, you know, no one would come to a random street corner to pick up their yogurt in LA. That doesn't happen, right? Yeah.
So again, this drug dealer model is you're basically selling it in advance and you're dropping it off at a street corner or selling it in person on the street corner.
It's basically you go onto our website, you buy our yogurt, but before you can check out, this is Alon's computer science degree coming into play, is you have to choose a pickup time and location, which we've pre-programmed on the back end based on our schedules.
Yeah.
So no matter what, if you come to a drop-off, you know, we will be there the full hour and you will have to meet one of the founders. And I think that's also a really important thing.
Very, very smart. I mean, this is like the CSA model in many ways.
It is like the CSA model.
It's following that, which I think people are used to in New York.
Yes,
those
absolutely.
pickups at certain times. There's a lot of industries that use
that. It's
that.
like the raw milk thing, too, the Amish raw milk circuit that goes on. You know?
There is a history of dairy, you're correct. Yeah. I mean, it's really...
This is not raw, but...
This is not raw, to be clear. But it's interesting. And so just to be clear to the listeners, you go to the website and you pick your time and you pick it up. And do you have a minimum order?
No minimum order. You just go to sourmilk.com and you can choose do you want single serves, do you want multi-serve, whatever it is. And then, you know, we categorize it by neighborhood. So you can choose Williamsburg, and then you'll see the pickup times that are available in Williamsburg. You choose it. We have an automation once you check out where we send you a calendar invite. So that way you have it on your calendar when your pickup time location is and where, and then you meet us there.
What's retention like?
Pretty high right now.
Good.
It's great. And also growing. This was the first drop where almost everybody finds us on social media. And then we have pretty high weekly retention of folks back.
That's cool.
Which is awesome because we have the highest friction model that you could ever experience.
Right.
But this was the first time where I was just talking to Alon. I was like, oh, wow, it's instead of almost 100% discovery through social media, we are now getting like 20 to 30%. Oh, I tried this at a friend's house, or a friend told me to come and get this. And that's the validity that like we need to know, oh, there's like real legs here and there's organic virality that's happening beyond us.
Well, I mean, people just want to post it, right?
Of course.
People just want to post the blue label. I'll be doing that in 20 minutes myself.
Yes, you should. Yes, exactly.
No, it's a wonderful thing, and I love the spirit. It's a great product.
Thank you.
Bright future. What's funding like for you right now?
Currently, we're bootstrapped.
Yeah.
And that's been okay for right now. As you just said, like because we have this pre-order model, our cash flow isn't bad because of that. And so we've been able to fund this. We put in money ourselves, and we both have some side gigs just to make sure we can pay our rent.
Oh, yeah.
Because essentially, like if we were to raise money, most of it would be going to pay ourselves. Yeah. And so that was an agreement that we had, Alon and I, is there a way we can recoup at least some of our rent doing other things?
Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough to still sort of work hourly with my previous firm.
Good.
And that's been very helpful.
So that's thus your mild response to PE ruining food.
Exactly.
I get it now.
Exactly. I'm shrinking in my chair.
It makes sense. No,
You're following. You're following.
Yeah, I'm following.
But we will have to raise money. And so we've been talking to investors since the beginning.
Yeah,
just of course, making friendly, continuing those conversations, ensuring that they're being kept up to date on what's going on. We're going to see through the end of this year and this sort of like initial New York store launches with our own funding, and then sort of starting in Q1.
What's the
Q2.
ideal funding? Is it like, I mean, you could talk about PE, but is it like VC or private office, or like what are you looking at?
I think there's definitely some VCs that we would be really interested in just because of their connections and what they have.
Great food VCs. We've had a few on the show.
Yeah, there are. There are some really great consumer-specific focused ones. A few strategics. So
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. Like, you think about like the AG1 Huberman play. Like, he blew it up because of the ads on his podcast and the aligned incentive there. I mean, you're looking at that with David's as well.
Yeah.
And so I think there's folks like that in the industry that we're really going after and would love to get. And I think there's things like, earned media, things like that come along with that too.
I mean, you're already doing you're doing earned now, but you're also doing so much social.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Capture and that has to be netting out in the positive for you as a company.
Oh my God, it's been the biggest weapon ever. Like I tell every founder, I don't care. You have to do it.
Yeah, there's no cringe in the founder world.
No.
Yeah, you have to kind of do it.
You have to do it. It's like I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm just the top of funnel. Like you just have to think about that. It's like, and you have to be comfortable with that. And some people aren't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I care way more about Sourmilk winning than I do about my cringe. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit? It's like empty calories, pun intended, when it comes to social video, because it all kind of goes away.
Exactly,
so
it goes away.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
So VC, maybe some private,
and
strategics.
Yeah, definitely, and some strategics too. I think that's probably the most.
Those strategics can learn a lot from you in your young career. Just from what you're doing, just to make yogurt buzzy is impressive. So.
Oh, yeah. And they can obviously be helpful for us too. I think there's, some people look at money is money is money. Like we talk to a lot of founders, and I think that is true to some extent. Like getting capitalized is just money in the end of the day. You get to decide. A lot of these funds don't really provide you any other value other than money. And I think, okay, yes. And I think there are some strategics that can actually be quite helpful in terms of the connections that they can provide and those things. So
they're selling the shit. They're not like
totally
working in spreadsheets. They're working in dairy.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Or there's folks who have a large audience. It's like, great. If I can tap into that by you being an investor, amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's actually a different. You call that strategic. You can call that just investing.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes.
But that's more like that. That is like great.
Yes.
And we have influencers on our show and they listen. Who's the dream influencer? Put it out there. Who knows? Maybe someone's listening.
Oh my gosh.
On the spot.
Okay. Well, we love like Mark Hyman and Peter Attia, any of those sort of longevity and biohacker folks. They have such a good audience. I even think of people like Michael and Lauren Bostic. They have Dear Media, and their audience really is like the health and wellness, and they sort of span both female and male wellness, and I think that's a really big play for us.
It has to be. It has to be for yogurt.
It has to be. And I think like as much as we would love other people in the food industry, I actually think like double downing with these folks in the wellness space will really create much more of the strong narrative around our moat as well.
Agree fully. I think you can definitely talk to food influencers, but it's not really going to resonate the way a health and wellness influencer would.
Exactly.
It's a smart
we'd
move.
love Justine Snacks and those types of people, like even like Carolina Gellin, she uses a lot of yogurt stuff.
Yeah. You can see their books behind you. They've all been in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are our peeps. Of course. They would love the product because I like it too, and they have good taste. 5 years from now, realistically,
where will we be?
Yeah.
Realistically, I think that we will be for sure national. I think you could get us in any state. I think the big question will be, to what level down in the in like the grocery type chains, if that makes sense, right? Like knowing that we're a premium product. Like I would love to be in Costco. Yeah. I would love to be in Target. Will we be in Walmart? Like realistically. Maybe not. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe that's
easier to get into that store, that brand than a Whole Foods.
It is
kitchen-wise.
That's so true.
Very, very different.
It's true, but it does really different things for your brand value.
Walmart's all right. You
think?
Yes, I do. I talked to Ben Van Leeuwen about this, and they're there, and he had nothing but positive to say. Obviously, he's biased, but
Yeah.
I don't sleep on Walmart.
Okay,
I think
that's
that
great, honestly. I appreciate that.
The buying at the corporate level at Walmart has impressed me. I live near one. I don't live in the city. I live a little bit outside, so I do go to Walmart. As a younger person, I didn't go for a lot of reasons, but I am consistently impressed.
That's good.
With the way they think about founders and baby brands.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I think the big question is like, what does it do from the outside perspective for a brand in its nascent days? So like,
for sure. I get what you're saying.
It's like Siggy's did that.
Yeah.
And then they tanked a bit, and then they pulled out of Walmart.
Yeah.
And then they went back in later once they were like bigger and more established and had a clearer brand value. And I think that's the 5-year point will be sort of that inflection point, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, who are we to the outside world? Are we big enough? Do we have enough of a brand to move into Walmart and still maintain that brand value? Or are we still building that up a little bit?
Really interesting. I want to follow with you on this. And by the way, Siggy's, that stuff tastes, it's terrible.
I know, I do not like it.
It's like, I don't understand it.
To say it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I've never understood that brand, that product.
Yeah. Totally.
It kind of undermines yogurt a little bit to me.
Yes. But a lot of people, they also have really high protein. And by the way, everyone loves protein, you know?
Sure.
So I think that's also part of it. But I agree. Also, Fage sponsored the U.S. Open this year. One day we'll be doing one of those things. Sourmilk will be doing one of those things.
I could see it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about macros because you're going 5%. So you obviously have your probiotic and your protein macros on the positive, but then it's a 5% full speed yogurt.
I don't know. I don't see that as a negative.
No,
This
is an open topic.
Totally. I think that's a huge positive. I think that there are going to be people, I think particularly older generation, views fat worse than younger generation. And so
that's anatomy.
That was not
That's anatomy. That's like time and anatomy talking. No, I'm kidding. No, I get it.
Maybe. We just didn't grow up in the low fat era.
You sure didn't.
We did not at all.
No idea what that is.
I don't know. I don't know at all. I just think like Activia, like maybe like
Snackwells. You don't even know what Snackwells are. You've never heard of Snackwells.
What is Snackwell?
This is great. I absolutely love this moment. I mean, I'll send you the link. We wrote a story about Snackwells. It's the dark past of the 90s.
Oh my God. I'm like, do I even want to know?
No, you don't want to know.
So I think fat doesn't have like the bad word around it that I think it does for the Snackwell generation. So I actually don't see that as a bad thing. The biggest important thing for us was the protein to calorie ratio. So like in terms of macros, in terms of any number to care about, it needs to be 10-1. And so we have 150 calories to 15 grams of protein.
Yeah.
And like that 10-1 number, if you go down Twitter threads or X, whatever, that's like a big thing within the fitness performance sphere. So we wanted to be able to be both competitive with other yogurts on the shelf in terms of that number, but then also like a clear winner just because of that.
And 150 calories is, for even the Snackwells generation, that says something. It's
totally.
Not as high as you would imagine.
Oh, no. Not as high. The second you add other things, you can, like
sugar,
like, vanilla or a peach or a raspberry flavor, you're up to like 190 to 210.
So that's the thing about plain yogurt.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Which is why I always encourage, like, put your own on it. You get to control those other things. So
yeah, I mean, you can put that tiny dot of Manuka honey and it's all good.
It's all good. Or like some fresh blueberries. It's delicious. And you get great prebiotic fiber as well. So
non-yogurt product, if you could found a company, what would it be?
Wow.
I know your brain is not there.
My brain
Kiki.
is so not there.
It's almost like it probably makes you recoil that question. But
you're
in the world, you think about companies and, you think about models. Where would you want to be?
Can it be a silly answer?
It can be absolutely any answer.
I want an amazing helmet. I bike around the city all the time. So, hey, helmet brands.
Yeah.
Anybody knows anything?
Yeah.
And I think that there's either like the performance sport helmets, or I think you have one that's called like 1000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's nothing that feels like interesting, fun, cool, also has like good sun protection, like any of those things. And and I need to be on the go and using it all the time.
Yeah, it needs to be like collapsible in some way.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
like for on the go.
Yeah.
No, it's not a silly answer. It's a really smart answer. It's great.
Yeah.
Like
I was not wearing a helmet at first, and then I'm carrying like 30 pounds of yogurt on my back.
You have to wear it.
And I absolutely have to.
You have to. Please.
You have to wear a helmet.
Please be safe out there. Are you
Yes.
city biking or do you have your own bike?
I'm city biking.
Yeah. I mean, double
whammy, right?
Yeah,
Those things are heavy and clunky. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, and I want to have you back. Let's make a date for like 18 months.
Okay, great.
I feel 18 months from now, there's going to be a whole different conversation, and like I'm rooting for you. I really am.
Thank you.
Great product, but just I like the energy here. It's very positive. This episode is brought to you by Grow Therapy. Have you ever tried to Google therapist near me? Just the act of typing those words in a browser can be so stressful on its own. I once went on a hunt for a therapist and found myself with a dozen tabs open with LinkedIn profiles and Instagram accounts of people I just didn't want to know. Grow Therapy makes it way less overwhelming and way more affordable. Whether it's your first time in therapy or your 50th, Grow makes it easier to find a therapist who fits your needs. They connect you with thousands of independent, licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. It's that easy. And you can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. And if something comes up, you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your own time. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0, depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/taste today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/taste. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
This is Taste We Ask Guests About Their Discerning Taste. So to close this interview, here's a little rapid-fire, fast and furious taste check. Kiki, are you ready?
I am ready, locked in.
Okay, the best fruit.
Peach.
What's a great peach to you?
A great peach is from my parents' backyard. I'm sorry, that is, yeah. It's spoiled, but it's true.
It's a great answer. The worst vegetable.
Bell pepper.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate it. I was vegetarian for a while, and you go to a restaurant and it's like bell pepper and onion is like the vegetarian option. I'm like, no, that's not going to cut it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, very good answer. That is the correct answer. Great question for you. What is your typical breakfast?
Obviously, it's yogurt. I actually didn't eat breakfast before starting this yogurt company, and now I make a yogurt bowl truly every day, and I eat breakfast.
Oh, we didn't even talk about what's the yogurt bowl looking like.
Oh my God. Well, it's a different thing every day. I get sent a lot of different granolas. So I get to try a lot of granolas, which is really
They're
fun.
They're cozying up to the Buzzy brand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see you, granola companies.
We see you, granola
Shout
companies.
out the good ones if you want.
Okay, yeah. So Jamie's Farm, great granola that's made with ghee. She's in Whole Foods, and we partner with her a lot for our samples. But put that on. I often use like a fiber powder. I honestly use this one called Puro, which unfortunately just closed down, but really, really love them. Sometimes I put some peanut butter on. I use One Trick Pony peanut butter.
Such good peanut butter.
It's a great brand. Right? It's amazing.
I love that company.
It's amazing. Love that. And then I'm a blueberry person on my yogurt. I don't know why. It's just like blueberries hit different.
They burst in a cool way.
Yes.
You get a little sour, you get a little sweet.
It's true. And like something about the skin, it's just, the burst is really nice.
Yeah. Well said. Okay. A restaurant you wish you could bring back from the dead?
I'm going to kind of cheat. And I wish that they had a Jalisco here. In my town of Sonoma, there was a tortilla factory right down the street. And they're open, but only really rarely these days.
Yeah.
And I wish there was one here.
You wish, so it's more of a transport.
It's more of a transport, but they would have fresh tortillas. We would go after school. I'm also a flour tortilla person, which I think is maybe controversial.
No, it's fair. I
love
great.
it.
Yeah.
And then just some butter and salt, and it was just the best thing in the world.
Oh, nice. Just like straight up. That's good.
Yes.
The best dessert.
Ice cream. Just like, also we would hand churn ice cream growing up. I'm like from a, kind of small farmy background. Yeah. So we would hand churn vanilla ice cream and put fresh fruit on it. The best. Just, I love vanilla ice cream.
Any brand that speaks to you in the ice cream world?
Alex is doing really cool things right now.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Their factory's actually up by Sonoma. It's in Petaluma. And they're sort of doing the whole A2 dairy thing. Yeah. But they have delicious ice cream. And then I just grew up having Clover.
Yeah.
So good.
I picked that up in the Bay.
It's so good.
I picked that up.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know what you're talking about. When you're craving fast food, where are you going?
Ooh. I'm probably... On this note, I'm like getting soft serve.
Yeah.
I know that Dan said, I think he said that. Like, I feel like, why do I remember this?
Yeah.
That is what I get. Oh, or a milkshake from In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Yes. I like the black or the
black
chocolate
and white.
Yeah, exactly. They have I actually don't like black and white. I like the chocolate and the vanilla
The
one.
chocolate and vanilla, not black and white.
Exactly.
Good.
Very specific.
Yeah, it's good. Your favorite city outside America to visit for food?
I love Vietnamese food. So recently was actually in Hanoi and it was delicious.
Oh, very cool.
Yes. So
Great
good.
place to visit.
Yeah.
I love that city.
It's just like everything is so fragrant and fresh and you get so much flavor in everything you eat.
Last one, your favorite sandwich?
I really like I like a Dutch crunch. This is a kind of a California thing. Dutch crunch. I want a black pepper turkey breast, tomato, a ton of mustard, light mayo, salt and pepper, and lettuce, and a pickle.
Good order.
You really got my order there.
No, it's a good order. I like it. It feels very California. No sprouts, though. No avocado.
No sprouts and no avocado. Sometimes it's overpowering, It's
Like the mustard call, is it yellow? Is it Dijon? What are you doing?
It's Dijon. I like a ton of it, too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Kiki, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining This Is Taste.
Thank you so much.
This Is Taste is hosted and produced by Eliza Barbanel and me, Matt Rodbar. The show is edited by lead producer Clayton Gumbert and supervised by Pat Stango, Director of Media Production and Development at Penguin Random House. Thanks to Shalia Harris and the production team at Penguin Random House. Theme music by Steve Rydell. Logo and guest illustrations by Ellie Skurzat. Visit Taste online at tastecooking.com and make sure to subscribe to our newsletter to keep updated on all cool things in the world of taste.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.